This simple thing will help you stop limping if you have hip arthritis. I'm talking about something called offloading. Offloading is simply taking pressure off your hip joint, the ball and socket joint of the hip. If you can take pressure off an angry, irritated hip joint, then you can allow it to begin to heal so that you might avoid having a hip replacement surgery and get back to feeling normal again in your hip. And it's very simple. This is often overlooked by most people and definitely healthcare providers because most of the healthcare industry focuses on treating people with medications, injections, and surgery. And medications and injections take the pain away or dull the pain temporarily, but they can't take pressure off a joint. And surgery replaces the surfaces, actually replaces the joint with artificial parts, but it still doesn't take the pressure off the joint, and people still have problems even after having a hip joint replacement. But if you're not too far gone in your hip arthritis, if you have decent range of motion and your hip joint isn't locking a whole lot, maybe painful, maybe tough to walk, you're probably limping, of course, then offloading is going to take the pain away almost instantly and allow you to still get around without irritating it further so that you have a chance at healing the joint. Here's what you need to offload. You don't need all three. You need to figure out which one, maybe two you need, and they don't cost that much to implement. A cane like this, which I put links in the description down below for all these products, you can get them off Amazon. A cane like this will support about 10 to 20% of your body weight, maybe a little bit more depending on how heavy you are. But if you just lean on it as you're walking, you're going to take pressure off your hip joint. If you need something a little more substantial, the Crutches can take almost all the pressure off your hip joints. And a walker like this one that folds down, they have different versions. There's some that have wheels on the end. There's some that just have points like this. This can take all the weight off your hip joint. Now, the problem is that some people will begin to use these. Sometimes doctors and physical therapists will recommend these to them, but they won't give you a plan to get off of them. And that's one of the fears that a lot of patients have whenever I recommend these is they'll say, well, once I start using a walker or a cane, I feel old. And I have parents that began to use it and they never got off of it. They still use it to this day if they're around, or they use it to their last days if they were around. And the fear is that you're following that same pathway. But if you can offload your hip joint enough to make it stop hurting, or at least reduce the pain enough to tolerate some exercises to fix the longer term problem, then you can ditch the walker and ditch the cane and the crutches and get back to feeling normal again. Now, I detail all the steps on how to fix hip arthritis in our Hip Arthritis Recovery Program that you can get access to. You can learn more about it down in the description below. There's a link to it. This program is 100% online and on demand. You can get it anytime. And you can access it anywhere you have the internet. You can go to the link down in the description below for the Hip Arthritis Recovery Program and learn all about it. There's over 30 videos. I've put everything in there that I use when I treat my hip arthritis patients that are avoiding surgery. They're healing their hip arthritis to not have to have a hip replacement surgery and get back to being active again, even exercising and being confident in their hip joint. One of the main treatments that we start out with is offloading, but that's just one step out of many in this whole process to get your hip joint, if you have hip arthritis, back to feeling healthy again. So don't wait to get on a cane or a crutch or a walker like I have all these tools here. If you're in pain right now, you can stop it immediately by just leaning onto these devices and allowing your hip joint to calm down. Hey, thanks for watching. If you thought this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up, share this with somebody you think needs to see this, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already so that you don't miss out on any of the health tips we put out each and every week. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.